Now, this history of Gaza's siege dates back long before this blockade and even before the outbreak of war in October 2023. Israel has controlled the enclave's borders to varying degrees since the 1990s. And for 15 years, a grassroots group called the Freedom Flotilla has brought civilians from around the world together in a bid to break the blockade by sea. Their latest mission is now underway, a ship called the Handala, named after an iconic Palestinian cartoon character. The Freedom Flotilla set sail from Italy last week with 21 passengers and aid provisions on board, and it is due to reach Palestinian water over the weekend. But previous attempts by the group have met with varied fates. 10 activists were killed by Israeli commandos during the flotilla's first mission in 2010. The most recent attempt by the Madeleine ship saw all 12 crew members, including climate activist Greta Thunberg, captured by Israel in international waters, detained and deported just weeks ago. Earlier this afternoon, I spoke to 2 passengers aboard the Handala, Jewish-American activist Jacob Berger and Norwegian grandmother Vigdis Bjørvand. So tell us, why try again? What do you hope to achieve that's different this time?
Well, the important thing is it's not necessarily about us reaching into Gaza. It's about bringing attention to the illegal blockade and siege that Israel has been committing on Gaza since 2007. The real question should be asked is, why is Israel so threatened by a boat filled with peace activists just trying to deliver vital aid to people that are literally starving? They have reached level 5 level of famine right now in Gaza, and that's because Israel has chosen to weaponize food and against the Palestinian people, and we cannot let this evil continue. We must all continue to step up. We're going to keep fighting. I'm sure many great causes, they face great adversity, and that's something that we need to just keep pushing forward at no matter what. Even if we get stopped 1,000 times, we're going to keep going.
So then what is the best case scenario looking at what lies ahead for this mission?
Well, best case scenario would obviously be that we make it to Gaza and break the siege, and that it inspires other people to then also send aid ships. So then we won't be an issue if there's issues with other borders sending in aid. Obviously, we know Israel will very likely intercept us at some point, and we're preparing for that situation. And the important thing is it continues to put a spotlight on the evils that Israel is doing to the Palestinian people.
Vigdis, as Jacob just mentioned, it's quite likely that you will be intercepted. There's also, I assume, no illusion about the very real risks in play here. Previous flotilla missions have been attacked. Its passengers have been wounded, even killed. How do you contemplate these risks, and are you afraid?
No, I'm not afraid, and I don't think it's a special risk compared to how the people in Gaza are suffering. I think this is our duty to keep on sailing for the people and the children of Gaza. They are starving, and I cannot sit back home in my couch and look and see how horrible it is. And I don't want that my grandchildren will come to me and say, after a while, they will say, why didn't you do anything? And that will happen. All these people are just sitting there, not doing anything. They will say, what? The grandchildren will ask, why didn't you do anything? You knew everything and you didn't do anything. So that's the main thing. You have to do something.
As you rightly say, starvation in Gaza is at alarming levels, as is the consequence of the devastation and the violence occurring there. Still, you are arguably taking fairly drastic action. Normally, breaking a siege or taking on a foreign military is left to world leaders. So how do you each feel about your leaders' stances on Gaza? Jacob, let's start with you and the US.
Well, I mean, it's no mystery. I'm disgusted with the American government. The other day they had a vote to try and stop funding of the Iron Dome, and I think only 6 members of the House of Representatives voted against it. I'm disgusted with Trump and Biden. Both sides, the thing is, they're all Zionists. The right wing, the left wing, Democrat, Republican, they all work for Israel. We live in the United States of Israel, and I'm disgusted by that fact. And we need the people to wake up and put pressure on the politicians to make it unacceptable to have that type of stance. This genocide can stop tomorrow if America stopped funding it and stop showing its support, because they would not be able to continuously bomb Gaza without the weapons that we send them.
Vigdis, how about you? I mean, Norway stands out within Europe, for example, for recognizing Palestinian statehood. How do you feel about the Norwegian government's response to what's happening?
It's so two-faced, because they say they recognize Palestine, but still they send the weapons, and they don't do anything to go against Israel. I cannot understand how it's possible for a government not to react. They can say, our foreign minister can say, oh, it's horrible what's happening in Gaza, but they don't do anything. They don't do anything. They let Israel do whatever they want. It makes me mad to think, and I want to cry and I get angry. I don't understand how the Norwegian government can be like that, or nor the European government. But you see the people, the grassroots people all over Norway and Europe, they're standing up. Something has to be done soon.
Is your message to them, is this a message from civilians to their leaders saying just because you do nothing doesn't mean that we will not? Who are the main people you're trying to get a message to?
That's very correct. Just like that. When they don't do anything, we have to.
Jacob, do you agree?
Yeah, we have to step up. Yeah, we have to step up at the end of the day. The politicians need to, I guess, fear the people once again, because they need to realize they'll lose their office and stuff like that if they continue to support a genocide. That's why we need a very famous quote from an American poet is, the revolution will not be televised. And what that means is we need a revolution of the mind first before anything else. So at the very least, we need to start getting Americans to start to care about what's happening in Gaza. I have way too many friends and people who go about their daily life every day like nothing is happening, like it's not our American tax dollars funding the genocide and the Holocaust that is happening in Palestine. So we need to really reach the people first, and when we reach the people, then hopefully the politicians will fall in line.
Because if you're talking about governments and powers who are arguably culpable for what's happening in Gaza, there is the state of Israel, the military of Israel, and that is a body that you are likely to come face to face with on this journey. Have you thought about how you will express your message to them when that happens?
Well, yes. I mean, obviously, we are a peace-loving group. We train in nonviolence resistance. If we are intercepted illegally, because may I remind you that nothing we are doing here is illegal. We're sailing under a flag. We're going from international waters into Palestinian waters. So really, they are criminals if they try to intercept us. They try to downplay with Greta the kidnapping, and that was a kidnapping. So we have no fear. We're going to make sure that we get our message across. We're going to be unified. We already agreed that we are going to be doing a hunger strike if we are intercepted. We will not allow their Hasbra BS to get out there. They all kind of harped on the sandwich thing. Like, Greta, we gave her a sandwich. Like, no, we've all, in unison, all 21 of us have agreed to a food and water strike in that situation. And we do not plan on, giving any information to Israel. And we hopefully our governments will contact them to make sure that we are released back to our home countries.
Do you think your governments will intervene on your behalf?
Do you want to? Yeah, I think the governments will intervene on our behalf. We have a lot of people. I have millions of followers. They'll have no choice but to really intervene. For those that don't know, I am a Jewish American. People really do enjoy sort of my outspokenness for the Palestinian people. So I know everyone's going to be making noise tooth and nail to make sure we're released.
And the Norwegian government has to do something also for the embassy, because I'm not going to Israel, I'm going to Gaza. So if they come then and take us to Israel, they kidnap us. So then our government has to do something.
And what about the message that you have for the people of Gaza?
It's so hard to say something to the people who are suffering that much. But the only thing I can say that we haven't forget them, and we will do whatever we can, and we will keep on sailing until the siege is broken. And one day Palestine will be free.
And my message also to the people of Gaza is, I am sorry that the world has been letting you down, that they're letting this modern day Holocaust happen right before our very eyes. But believe you, there are hundreds of millions, billions of people that stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people. And we will do everything in our power to continue fighting. You know, everything is always darkest before the dawn.
Now, look, finally, not all media coverage of the Freedom Flotilla has been positive, particularly with the surge of coverage that came during the Madeleine's voyage and the presence of Greta Thunberg. Critics accuse passengers of being attention-seeking, of putting on a PR stunt. Jacob, let's start with you. What do you make of the media outlets making these accusations?
Well, it's funny because I don't know if you witnessed my interview the other day with Piers Morgan, but he literally made my point for me. He, in his mind, the only time there had been a Freedom Flotilla was when Greta was on board. And I explained to him, no, that was the 36th voyage. And he didn't even know about the one where Israel killed 10 of our activists. So the fact having high profile people on this ship, it is important. We live in a modern digital age of social media. Social media is what's helping free Palestine and educate people. So the idea that this is some selfie cruise is absolutely preposterous. That's just a Zionist Hasbara talking point. I've been part of this movement now for the last 2 years, giving everything I got. I didn't need to be on this boat, but I wanted to be on this boat because I couldn't live with myself if I didn't take the opportunity to step up and use my platform to help advocate for the people of Palestine. So it's no selfie. This is actually selfless what we're doing.
Vigdis, finally over to you. Is this a PR stunt?
This is like a PR stunt, like the selfie cruise thing, you know?
No, not at all. These people are as genuine to the cause as I am. Even if I'm not famous, the others that are famous, they just want to do it for the cause of the children of Gaza. And we need those people here to have platforms so that we can feel safe.
Jacob Berger, Vigdis Bjørvand, thank you for joining us on MEELive.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us at Free Palestine.